So it's finally here, Zack Snyder's Justice League. So let me give you a little bit of background into this film before we go into my opinion on it. The original came out in 2017 and was directed both by Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon took over because Zack Snyder had major family problems, but what happened was Zack Snyder had most of the film actually filmed. This is his vision that he had. And when the original came out, it came out with really bad reception, critical and audience reception. Even though myself, I enjoyed the dynamics of the team and I enjoyed some of the story beats, it wasn't a perfect film. And let's just say that mustache CGI removal was awful. So now we are in 2021. Last year it got announced that they'll be making a Snyder cut of the original film, which is going to be 4 hours long, which is true. And a lot of people will see that as a negative about this film, first of all, because of how long it is. But what Zack Snyder does is brilliant, which is splitting it up into 6 parts, each one having an individual title. So if you wanted to, you could watch it like a mini-series. You could watch part 1, then part 2, then part 3, and so on and so forth. But I watched it all in one sitting and I do not regret it. And this version of the film really delves deep into the characters. Surprisingly, my favourite character in this was Batman. Ben Affleck's version of this Batman is one of my favourites. I know that's very controversial to say, but he is amazing in this film as Bruce Wayne mostly. He doesn't really show up as Batman much in this film. And that's another thing that I like about the characters and the character development in this movie is the villain Steppenwolf really does, you understand where he's coming from in a way, and he actually has character motivations, whereas in the original film he had no character motivations whatsoever. They also redesigned him, and so the CGI looks a lot better on that character and it really shines. And to be honest, I really enjoyed the design of this character. Not only that, we have a surprise of having Darkseid in this movie. In very, very small scenes, but very poignant scenes, which mean a lot. And not only that, they brought in stuff like the Joker, like Jared Leto's Joker, to come in for like a, 10-minute scene towards the end of the movie. I don't want to say that this film is a masterpiece, but it's a definite step up from what was happening in that original Joss Whedon cut. There was a lot that was cut out, and surprisingly, as we're going through this movie, you can see the direction that Zack Snyder wants to take it, and for that I really want to see a sequel to this movie. It leads up to what could happen in the future, especially with Darkseid, and we don't know if that's going to come to fruition, but hopefully, with everybody that watches this film and loves this film, hopefully we'll get that vision and what people have termed as released the Snyder Cut originally, and now it is returned to the Snyderverse or something like that, which, to be honest, I can see it. Zack Snyder is one of my favourite filmmakers because of his visual style. His films are so pretty to look at, and the cinematography in this, the time that they had left to do more CGI, it is amazing. The whole storyline of Superman in this movie is so much more fleshed out, and Cyborg, I never thought I'd actually like this character as much as I did, but they really gave him so much more to do, and it made you realise how powerful of a character he is in this movie. Not only that, every single person that was in this movie gave it their all. The performances were really good. The movie is presented in a 4:3 aspect ratio, which when I initially started watching it, I thought there was something wrong with my TV, but so basically Zack Snyder wanted to release this movie on IMAX screens, which is a little bit more up this way than it is across. When I first started watching it, I was like, oh god, you know, this is starting to look like a Wes Anderson movie at this point. And the black bars really, really distracted me. But as I got through the film, it made it look more artistic, I guess you could say. It's incredible, it's operatic, it's epic with its length. Not only its length, but its storyline. It's a lot darker, but a little bit lighter for what Zack Snyder usually does, with a lot of the jokes that Flash makes. And that's another thing, Flash has more time to be fleshed out and understood. And if you remember from the original movie, there was a side story with Flash at the end of the movie. That gets totally cut out of the movie, which is brilliant. And they give Flash a job at the end of the movie which makes sense to his character. Now the movie, as I said, is split into 7 parts. 6 parts including an epilogue. And the epilogue really is the part that sets up future movies. On the scale of how I feel about this movie compared to like Man of Steel and Batman vs Superman, I absolutely love Man of Steel. I think it is one of the best Superman movies you could get, except for the first 2 Superman, the original Superman movies. And then Batman vs Superman came out. I remember watching the original cut of that movie in the cinema and being quite disappointed. But then watching the extended cut of Batman vs Superman made it so much better. It made a better movie, and that is exactly what this Justice League movie has been like. This Snyder cut has upped this movie franchise for me. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm a defender of Suicide Squad. I'm a defender of a lot of the movies in this universe. I watched Aquaman actually yesterday and realised how much I really enjoyed that movie, and the colours is totally different to something that Zack Snyder would make, but it's so colourful and poignant and it pops out. But Zack Snyder's vision is now whole. This is the first time this has happened with a movie where the fans have really pushed for this supercut of this movie. I know a lot of people, as I said previously, a lot of people will look at the 4-hour runtime and go, nah, I'm not going to watch it. It's too long. And I didn't feel that length. I just wanted it to keep on going. It ended and I just went, right, I just want more. I want more of this universe. I want more of these answers. I want more of these characters. Because they worked well together, they worked well singularly, and it really pushed every single character to their best. Personally, I hope that they continue with the Snyderverse, as people have called it, because it is miles better than what they're doing at the moment. It feels like they've left the DCEU in the dust and they really need to pick it back up, and I think this is the first step towards that. Not saying that I didn't enjoy Birds of Prey or Wonder Woman 1984, which I enjoyed both of those movies. This movie is miles above either of those movies, especially in world building. So I give this movie a 4.5 out of 5. I give it less than 5 out of 5 because personally I think people will see it as a negative, as being a long film. But personally, for myself, I wanted more. I wanted it to be a 6-hour movie. I wanted it to be a 10-hour movie. It was so good and it was so enthralling. The action scenes were incredible. The CGI was much better than the original film. I was happy to see most of the humour taken out of it that was a bit awkward in the original, and each character gets to shine. So that ends my review of Justice League. I hope you enjoyed. If you subscribe and like, it would really, really help my channel and it would push me to do more videos. Now the next big film I'm looking at to actually review is Godzilla vs Kong. So hopefully that one will be just as exciting as what I've just watched with Justice League. So thank you for watching, guys. Bye bye.